Now, I could have introduced one of two people today. I was looking forward to introducing one, not because I don't treasure the other's wisdom, but I get today to introduce the one that I wanted to introduce, and it's Nicole. I normally would have introduced her mom, a very special guest as well. Nicole Graham is listed in the program. A grateful parent, and she is slated to speak about her experience at Blythedale during her daughter Nicole's inpatient admission there for a few months ago. And it's a wonderful surprise. Nicole is going to join us herself today. She's well enough to join us and share firsthand her extraordinary experience as a teen who battled back from not one but several life-threatening and debilitating conditions. I think her story represents one of resilience, drive, and speaks to all the issues that we've been talking about, the vital importance of the community and this role in the healing process. Nicole's got a wide network. You'll see why in a second. She's very lovable. But these folks have stood around her. They have danced. And without her, without them, I don't think her recovery would have been quite as spirited as we'll see tonight. But you're truly in for a treat. I'm honored to introduce you to Nicole Graham.
That gave my life back to me. I'm going to start off with 5 words that no one ever wants to hear in their life. Cancer, sepsis, strokes, paralysis, and sight impairment. 5 conditions that I unfortunately had to deal with all within a couple of months at age 16. I could have been anyone. Your daughter, your grandchild, your godchild, your neighbor, your babysitter. Bad things happen and no one is immune. I started off my junior year as an honor student, a tri-varsity athlete, and a homecoming princess. Within a month, I was unable to move, eat, or see clearly. I went from being a state finalist track runner to not being able to hold my head up or use my phone. What happened? Last September, I was diagnosed with leukemia and started treatment at Yale New Haven Children's Hospital. 16 days later, I developed sepsis and was placed in a medically induced coma. That was complicated by not 1, but 2 strokes. Once I was off breathing and kidney support, I was told that I needed to go to a specialty hospital to try to relearn everything the strokes and sepsis had taken away. Yale recommended Blythedale because it was a world-class facility, and yes, those were Yale's exact words. My parents were also thrilled because Blythedale was so close to our home. They knew that it was important to be home because I had so many friends, and that was the way I was going to recover the fastest. As for me, in my mind, I knew I was going to a rehabilitation center, but I had no idea why. My parents hadn't told me all that had occurred until I arrived at Blythedale and was out of my mental fog. Selflessly, Yale had the best interest for us and said that we could also switch to Maria Friars Children's Hospital since it was right down the road in Valhalla to continue my chemotherapy treatment. I arrived in Blythedale in late October for what was expected to be a 4 to 6 month stay. I basically slept for the first 2 days, and when I woke up, I was in an amazing room in the traumatic brain injury unit that we ended up calling my penthouse bachelorette pad. Every day from then on, I was making vast improvements. I felt as though my therapists were bringing new toys every day for me because I was improving so fast. I went from sitting up to a stander to a wheelchair to an extended walker to a regular walker, all while using custom-made braces. Sorry. Once I started to go down the hall, I looked around and said, oh, these poor children who have gone through so much. And then I looked down at me in my wheelchair and said, I bet when I was brought in on a stretcher and had my bald head, unable to move, and with a feeding tube, everyone was probably saying, oh my God, look at that girl. She's in bad shape. Besides the modern building with a brand new traumatic brain injury unit, what made the biggest impression on me was the staff. The nurses' aides were terrific. There was the beautiful Maritza, who may have been no taller than my wheelchair, but she was physically the strongest person I know. Her Chiquita, as she would say. There were the Giggle sisters, Juliet and Sophia, who, when it came to shower time, made me feel so comfortable and would be laughing the whole time. There was Maria, Lauren, Catherine, Joe, Mike, the list goes on, the most fabulous nurses you could ever ask for. Then came Honda, who because of her religious beliefs would come from head to toe, but don't let that fool you because she had the best throwing arm when it came to throwing a lacrosse ball to me. Then came Pam and Christine, therapists who was so accommodating with my crazy sleep patterns and chemo schedule and came in every day so upbeat and determined to get me back to my normal state. There was Mr. D. Simone, or as we would call him, Mr. D, a teacher at Blythedale School who made me the person most responsible for keeping me on track with my schoolwork and making sure that I graduate on time with my classmates. He still emails me and keeps tabs on me to make sure that I'm doing okay. Dr. Poole, the director of psychiatry and psychology department, who helped alleviate the anxiety of a 16-year-old girl who was rushed to the hospital one day and woke up 2 weeks later a completely different person. Then there was Dr. Silverman, the coordinating pediatrician who did whatever it took to make sure every patient was receiving the best care. Not only did she keep track of my physical and mental state, but she also made sure my cancer treatment was on track. She was so smart and so compassionate. Lastly, there was Maureen, my unbeatable physical therapist. From the very first day I was back to my cognitive state, Maureen and I hit it off. She was sassy, as am I, funny, determined, sporty, and athletic. If I had hours instead of minutes, I'd tell you about stripes and cankles and 7 jeans. It wasn't just the technical aspect that Maureen excelled at, but she also really took time to get to know me and my family. She knew how to push me, when to push me, and when to chill. She embraced my passions and incorporated my field hockey and lacrosse skills into my therapy sessions. We drove each other. I never really asked why me. Why did I get cancer? Why did I have so many complications? But when I left Blythedale in early January, just a little more than 2 months after I had arrived, I felt blessed to be able to be where I am today. Running with my lacrosse team, doing stick drills, being on track with my coursework and graduating with my classmates, and most important, something back in October I never thought I'd be able to do, dance at my junior prom next week. So yes, I may have gone through 5 things that no one ever wants to experience, but from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank everyone at Blythedale. Thank you for giving my life back to me.